What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to start a new series where we go over a complete exercise checklist. And the first exercise we're going to start with is the barbell squat. The importance of having good form on the barbell squat is going to be the difference maker between whether you get injured or not and if you get the most out of your training. For me, when I started lifting, I didn't have very good form on the barbell squat, and that ended with me slipping a disc in my lower back. Because of this, I really started to hate leg day, and my legs never developed because I couldn't train legs very well without feeling any pain in my lower back. I always seem to keep re-injuring my back and hurting something at some point, but this is just because I didn't follow the cues that I'm going to show you guys today. But as I learned these cues and I learned how to apply them to my training, I really improved my form on not just the squat but all leg exercises and learned how to properly train the legs in general, and this has gotten me more results, more stabilization, and overall better health in my legs. I've improved the aspects there too and no longer feel pain in my lower back, just a little bit of weakness in my hip flexor, but that's because there was a muscle tear there, and so that'll always be a limiting factor in my training, but I work through it because I improve my stabilization as I continue to train. So the first cue for the barbell squat that I would add kind of leads to the rest of the cues, and that is you want to have a straight bar path. To have a straight bar path, you have to focus on a lot of the body mechanics I'm going to go through these cues. And as you'll see here, the bar doesn't travel very straight, and this is because I don't follow the cues that I'm going to be showing you guys. And it should also be noted that the barbell squat doesn't rely solely on just certain things that you do, certain body mechanics you follow, but also certain overactive muscles or weaknesses. For instance, a bar path like this could be a result of an overactive abdominal region or underactive upper back muscles that are supposed to be retracted during this movement. So that leads us into something very important to focus on, and that is that you need to keep your chest up during this movement. How do you keep your chest up during a squat? Well, you keep your shoulders back, you keep your scapula retracted, you try to depress your shoulders a little bit too, and this will keep that chest puffed forward, and this will ensure that you don't collapse forward during the movement. As you see here, my shoulders are forward, my chest is down, and I collapse forward as a result, and this is going to be very stressful on the lower back. If you feel that you have trouble keeping your shoulders back and your scapula retracted, this could be because you have underactive upper back muscles, and to fix that, you want to work your upper back in traps. So I'm going to go ahead and link in the description and the pinned comment the video to 4 exercises for better trap development. Next thing we want to talk about is the direction of the knees during this movement. So the active muscles during a squat goes far past just your quads and your hamstrings and your glutes. Other muscles that have to be involved and not too tight or underdeveloped are the abductors and the adductors. In this case, you don't want your adductors, the muscles that'll pull the legs in, to be overactive because then your knees will collapse. And on the contrary, you don't want your abductors, the muscles outside of your legs, to be underactive and therefore, again, allow your knees to collapse in. You want to have a little bit of outward point to your toes, and you want your knees to follow that direction as you go downward. So there has to be a level of mind-muscle connection as you descend during the squat. Now, doing a high volume with the correct form for squats really corrects this stability so that when you do a squat, it's almost second nature to go down with proper form. Like, as you see here with whatever this guy is doing, I mean, it took a lot of effort for me to get my knees to buckle in like this because I'm so used to doing the proper form on the squat that I have the stability to not do this, so I really forced myself to do this. You're welcome. Although it's more likely that your knees are going to cave in on the way up as the adductor muscles pull the legs in. So what you want to do is some accessory movements such as just the abduction and the adduction of the hips with a stability band or on a machine, or you just want to have very good mind muscle connection, and on the way up, really focus in on the knees staying out, almost pushing them out a little more towards the toes. Next up is one of the most important cues for this exercise and any leg exercise and a lot of exercises in general, and that is glute engagement. If you squat with perfect form and you don't flex your glutes at the top, that lower back has to jump in and stabilize the movement. It took me a long time to figure this one out, so again, even though my form was perfect, I still felt it in my lower back for a little while after I figured out the rest of the cues. This is going to cover a little bit of a 2-in-1 here. On the way down, you don't want to put the knees forward first. Instead, you want to hinge back just a little bit first and then squat down. This will prevent the knees from going either way past the toes or even just a little bit past if your legs are a little shorter. In my case, my legs are pretty long, so my knees do go past a little bit, but if I put my knees forward first, they would go way past, and that would probably hurt my quad tendon a little bit. So the point here is you want to come back up and throw the hips through and flex the glutes as tight as you can, and this will develop the biggest and most powerful muscles in your lower body and probably the body in general, and that's going to make you a lot stronger and developed on this movement. Next up might be a little bit of a controversial topic as far as the form goes, and that is where your head positioning should be during the motion. I remember when I started high school strength training, the football coach said, put your head up and look up during the squat. Now, it might make some sense to put your eyes up a little bit, but this is going to make the chin fall as well. See, the thing is the cervical spine is not meant to be in that kind of positioning. The cervical spine is basically the spine around your neck. So while yes, it is true most of the time that if you look up, your body's automatically going to go up, it's just not healthy for your upper back. or upper spine rather, where all the nerves are that control your entire body. And you also don't want to look directly down. I don't see this very often, but if I do, that person probably collapses down right away. Instead, you can look straight ahead, but you want your head to be neutral and therefore have a neutral spine. This will put you in the most stable position to do this movement as long as you follow all the cues and don't put anything else at risk while you do it. So getting into really optimizing your form for this motion, you want to get low enough. That means getting down to parallel or below in order to properly stretch the glutes and stabilize the hip flexors during this motion. A good way to work on that is through pause squats. Obviously you would use lighter weight, but going down to the bottom portion of the movement and holding it for an extended period of time will really stabilize muscles and really make other muscles that don't usually activate during this motion kick in and therefore make you even stronger on the full barbell squat with a normal tempo. And obviously you don't want to be that quarter rep Kevin guy who goes in there, goes down a quarter of the way, bounces back and forth, up and down, and then celebrates like you just hit the gym's all-time PR. So as we wrap this list up, here are 2 more cues, and the first one is to keep your entire foot on the ground. You want the weight of the movement to be like right in the middle of your foot, leaning a little closer to the heel. The trick for keeping the toes and the heels down is to kind of curl the toes into the ground as if they were talons. The other thing, as we go around and show you exactly what a barbell squat looks like, is to really tighten your core. Tightening the core is especially important at the bottom of the movement, and I'm telling you, I didn't really know how to tighten my core until a couple years ago. So even with perfect form, or so I thought it was perfect, I would still feel a little bit of a twinge in my lower back every single time because that lower back, the erector spinae and quadratus lumborum would jump in and stabilize the motion. So that is your complete barbell squat checklist. Let me know what you guys think or any more cues that you would add to the motion. If you like this style of video or any video with fitness in general, be sure to subscribe. There's a lot more content like this coming out. And of course, all my advice is completely free here on YouTube. At the current time that I'm filming this video, we are at 98 subscribers, so that's 2 more to go until 100, and then of course 900 to go till 1,000, and then so on. You know, one day we'll get to 7 billion. Just kidding, of course. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like the video, let me know what you think, let me know what you want to see in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.